Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
Well. I'll tell you what, I want to start out with a happy Father's Day to Gonzalo Lira. You're on the Prepared Mind channel.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
And we're back. Everyone, welcome to the Prepared Mind channel, my favorite show of the day. We go live every day, folks, Monday through Friday, and you can participate. All you have to do is be a premium member at thepreparedmind.club or subscribestar.com. Either way, you can join us daily live in the afternoon. You get links sent. Well, unless you're Orlando, who can't, for some reason, is getting killed, and a few other people. Anyways, we send you a link. You come on live. No further cost. $2 a month, 7 cents a day is what it costs. And you can join us through the Monday through Friday and talk, ask questions, share, make the conversation go. So you and I here on the preparedmind.club and Subscribestar, we get together Monday through Friday, and I'll do my monologue. You guys do your questions and answers as part of the inner circle. And then that completed video goes out to the world. It goes out to YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and, well, Facebook, everywhere, all over the place. So let's get into it. Get your questions down below, down in the comment section, right? Get them down there because, folks, we're not going to talk about the same old thing. Oh, no, it gets worse. World War III has now been sanctioned by President Biden, the Biden administration, the Pentagon, and Washington, D.C., who, of course, are the hand puppets and bitches of the World Economic Forum and world banking cartels. Oh, yeah, folks. Here we go. Before we get to the World War III part, let me give you some other stuff. Ukraine. You've heard about the tanks in Ukraine, the MRAPs or other armored vehicle personnel carriers, etc., just being abandoned, being taken by the Russians as prizes. Well, Ukrainian crews, it turns out, are faking tank breakdowns. They're like, our tank broke down. And so they run away and get away from the front line. They get away from combat. You bet. And so the Russians, all they got to do is drive up, destroy the Wunderwaffe, right, the super army, in a quest for them, folks, the prize or the booty, as it were, on land. They're winning, folks. Now, I want to ask you this question, and we need to be honest with ourselves. We need to be honest with the people of the world. We need to be honest with the Ukrainians, and we need to be honest with Joe Biden. Are the Ukrainian military members cowards for abandoning armored personnel carriers, transport, and even tanks, just leaving them out there for the Russians to find, capture, destroy? We're paying for that, and that's what's happening to it. Are they cowards, or are the Russian military, the Ukraine military members, are they tired of literally being cannon fodder, being sent to the front line to be killed, sacrificed by a superior, well-trained military? Because understand, yes, Ukraine has a military. Yes, they've been trained. Yes, they're given equipment. Yes, they're sent to the front lines. And yes, they don't know jack shit about combat and they get killed quicker than anyone else. That's why you don't send green military members to the front line. You always incorporate them into an experienced unit so that they can live long enough to fucking learn something. Except the Ukraine military has been getting hammered and killed by the Russians so badly that they don't know what they're fucking doing. And so they're just abandoning the tanks, abandoning the vehicles, abandoning millions and even billions of dollars in equipment for the Russians to claim and then destroy. Isn't that just amazing? I find that to be incredible, incredibly disheartening, and incredibly disgusting. I've had it with these fucking people in Washington, D.C., sending our money over there, putting it in the hands of people who don't want to fight, who then get sent to the front line, who just leave our investment in them. And when I say our, I mean Washington, D.C.'s. It's just incredible. This is what's really happening, folks. This is what's happening. Now, I want to get there. I want to get to what's going on with World War III. Shit hitting the fan, folks. It could get nasty very quick. Very quick. But first, I want to talk about this. The illegal payment scandal, a.k.a. the bribery scandal that is surrounding Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, the Biden family, the Biden cartel. It is grown in size exponentially overnight. So, yeah. And for some reason, the FBI isn't finding it, or the Department of Justice, because that's where the oversight is. They just seem to not be seeing everything Joe Biden's being proven to have done. But folks, if this gets traction, and as it gets traction, it'll be time to arrest Trump again, don't you think? That's right. Biden's done something wrong. He's gotten caught. Arrest Trump again. Unbelievable. Sickening. Folks, it is sickening, literally, what they are doing. I mean, the perv in chief, Joe Biden, has got his fingers in everyone's pies and, well, trying to grope everyone's wives and, of course, sniffing on kids. Now, Fox co-host Emily Campagno said, quote, "We knew a long time ago there was only mush between those ears. He has reverted back to a dirty old man." That's all Biden is, folks, is a dirty old doddering fool who can manage to stay on script just long enough to pretend to be the perv in chief. That's our world, folks. That is our world. Now, let's do it. Let's just fucking get to it. Let's get to it. Let us get to it. Tony Blinken, right, Secretary of State for the Biden administration. In other words, the spokesman, the chief diplomat for the whole country, only overshadowed by the power of the President of the United States. In fact, the Secretary of State is considered a more powerful position when dealing with other nations than the Vice President. Oh yeah, folks. This is what Tony Blinken said. Are you ready? Quote, "We do not support Taiwan independence." That is a freaking green light, full steam ahead, invade the fuck out of Taiwan. They just told the Chinese Communist Party, the People's Liberation Army, the People's Liberation Submarines, the People's Liberation Airplanes, the People's Liberation, you name it. Everything they've got, they can throw at Taiwan now, folks. Oh, really? Is this a pays off for the bribes? Seriously, is this the United States government, Blinken and Biden, sucking up to the Chinese Communist Party? Are they now paying, right, China back by giving them Taiwan for some campaign contributions? Is this an Afghanistan deja vu, where a once good ally, the nation of Taiwan, is now being just handed over to their enemy, the same way Joe Biden handed over Afghanistan back to the Taliban? Folks, the United States of America, our nation's allies will never trust the U.S. government, Washington, D.C., ever, ever, ever again. Either you're an ally or you're not. Either you're a trading partner or you're not. The credibility of the United States government, which is supposed to represent us, the United States of America. The United States government is supposed to represent the United States of America to other nations of the world. And there is a big distinction, folks, between the U.S. government and the United States of America. And now you're witnessing it. Now you can see it. Now you can taste it. You can smell it. You can detect it. We do not support Taiwan independence. We do not support Afghanistan and its independence from a theocracy of murdering, raping thugs. Credibility gone. What do you think? How long before China's like, well, if America doesn't support it, then America won't defend it? It's bad for Russia to go into Ukraine. How dare you, Russia, just because we were threatening you with NATO military bases, putting nuclear weapons on your border just because we, America and NATO and the European Union, were threatening you, Russia, right? With constant antagonization, the murder of Russian citizens by Nazi Ukrainians, just because all of that doesn't give you any reason to go in and try and liberate the people who want out of that mess. But it's just fine. It's Jim Dandy. It's A-OK if China wants to go into Taiwan and not just liberate a couple of Chinese people, folks. Take the whole frickin' island. The island nation of Taiwan, folks, is going to become a blood-bathed province of Beijing. It is coming right now. Let me tell you Tony Blinken's quote one more time. We do not support Taiwan independence. World War III has been sanctioned by Biden. It sure has. I mean, we've seen that they want to go to war with Russia, and Russia now is so pissed off that Vladimir Putin is saying, fuck you guys. We are at war with you now. You bet. Right? That's it. That's it. You've got Lindsey Graham, the rhino, scumbag, warmongering enemy of liberty, who is calling for the assassination of Putin. Well, he's up to other garbage as well. We'll get to him in a little bit. Right? And this is what Russia says, folks. I'm going to read this to you. A Russian general has come out and addressed the media. And he has something pretty important to say. And I think we should listen. And I want you to think about it. So a Russian general, he's one of those Russian-looking bald dudes, right? Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov. He's the chief of the Radiation, Chemical, and Biological Defense Forces of the RF Armed Forces. Well, that sounds like a pretty nice, fancy title, huh? Well, he's the one that had alleged documentation of the United States bioweapons program in Ukraine. He has something else to say, though, about what the U.S. is planning to turn loose. He says the flooding of the Kherson region planned by the Kiev regime, meaning Voldemort Zelensky. The flooding of the Kherson region planned by the Kiev regime can complicate the situation, including arbovirus infections. After a drop in the water level, the formation of diseases transmitted by mosquitoes is possible. And so he continues, and he presents more documentation that the U.S. government and the Pentagon has formulated a plan with their partners in Ukraine, that's right, folks, Voldemort Zelensky, to, quote, use infected vectors, meaning mosquitoes, to use infected vectors through a patented drone designed to spread infected mosquitoes in the air. Now, you might think this sounds very modern. Well, the fact of the matter is, folks, it is an ancient idea going back decades. So when I say ancient, I mean that with respect to technology. They've talked about using mosquitoes to transmit diseases, infected mosquitoes, and dropping them on a population. Now, years ago, I watched a military show on the History Channel where they discussed this very idea being used years and years and years and years ago, decades ago. And a Marine Corps Master Sergeant or Sergeant Major, I can't remember which, E8 or E9, was brought on to comment on the different technologies. It was about old war technologies. And he basically said, if anyone had done that to him in the military, it would have really been all hell turned loose for such a chicken shit attack. Yet, folks, here it is. Right? Who does this sound like? Who do you think would hatch such a filthy plan? Do we know anyone in the United States government that likes experimenting with diseases on animals, humans? Is there anyone we know of that's involved in bioweapons research secretly? Right? The use of entomological weapons, folks, mosquitoes, right, is a violation of the Biological and Toxic Weapons Convention of 1972. Right? In other words, doing this crap would be illegal. Back to General Kirilov. The description of the patent emphasizes that the infected soldier is not able to perform the combat missions assigned to him. Such a method of infecting the enemy would have a significant effect militarily. Of course it would, with people getting sick, ruined, right? Does this sound like the work of Dr. Doom? Does this sound like the work of people who don't want to honestly fight a war the old-fashioned way? Now, it used to be, folks, that you would meet the other military on the field of battle, literally in a field. That's where field of battle comes from, is they would go to a field, not a forest, not a cliff, the field of battle. The armies would meet with swords, hand to hand, so they could see their enemy and know who they were. And then they would commence to slaughtering each other until one army won. That is how war used to be. Then they brought in, well, muskets, guns, and then cannon. They brought in arrows, of course, before that, bows and arrows. And then it was like, you know what? Fuck this. Why stand out in a field of battle? Why not hide behind trees and rocks and start shooting at the enemy? You know who they are. It became less and less personal. And then, well, long-range barrage, explosives, cannons that you can fire from miles away, airplanes that drop bombs that are so high, those airplanes, that they can't be touched. It's all warfare, isn't it? Jets that fly so fast you can't see them or hear them until they've gone past you. And by then, you're about a millisecond away from feeling the ordnance hit in your general area. And now, we don't even want to send men to the field of battle, folks. No, instead they want to have fruitcakes, flying drones, and bombing people from the other side of the planet, and releasing fucking mosquitoes to do your dirty work for you. That's where we come, folks. They don't even want to look at their enemy in the face. That's how brave these guys are. I don't like any of them, folks. I don't like any of this shit. None of this makes me happy. None of this makes me happy. Right? Now let's turn our attention back home here, back domestically. I was talking about Lindsey Graham earlier, the rhino scumbag, warmongering enemy of liberty. Well, he stepped up today, and like a true light in the loafers fruitcake, he is defending the FBI, the Department of Justice, and our justice system, which has the very noticeable appearance of a two-tiered justice for thee but not for me system. And this is what jackass Lindsey Graham has to say. He is accusing Republicans as being irresponsible and that they are stoking violence by opposing the lawlessness, the political attack of the Department of Justice on Republicans, conservatives, libertarians, gun shop owners, and oh yeah, President Trump. We are stoking violence. Republicans are stoking violence. Republicans are not going out and killing children and attacking Christian schools and being mass murderers at malls and shopping centers and homes. No, that is the liberal fruitcakes, literal fruitcakes at that. Ones that are very much like Lindsey Graham. I mean, if Lindsey can't help but do anything but start a war, doesn't that mean he's a little mentally off? All he wants is war, folks. And he wants it here. And he's accusing you and I of being the cause of violence in this country. Now, who hates America? Who stokes violence? I read last night during the zoo, a subcommittee member of, violence, weaponization of government in America. She stood up on TV and said, yeah, we need to kill President Trump, essentially. I mean, arrest him. Right? You want more evidence that these fruitcakes, they're the ones that hate America, folks, and they hate you, and they hate me. A trans activist, oh yeah, here we go. A yelling, screaming, screeching fruitcake had to be removed for interrupting the national anthem. And folks, the people have had it with these people. I don't even want to call them people anymore. I don't want to call them Americans because they hate America. This idiot was trying to interrupt the national anthem. And the audience, after the national anthem was finished, began screaming USA and chanting USA and chanting USA in response to this trans fruitcake. They hate America, folks. They hate you. They hate the military, except now the military is a means through which they can get their genitals chopped off. I tell you what, why do we want to spend all that money? Why not just blow them off with a shotgun? Right? Have surgeons do that and save all kinds of time and money. Or let's just go old school and use castration rings like they do on sheep. It'll be much faster, much cleaner. No problem. Get rid of them nuts lickety split. Right? I mean, it's, yeah, I'm using a little bit of dark satire. But that's essentially what they're doing, is castrating themselves. Hey, go ahead and castrate yourself. As long as you don't have testicles, I'm willing to say you're not a man. I'm not going to admit that you're a woman because you ain't. Right? You got to have that XX chromosome package to qualify for vagina credits. What a world, folks. And it's not going to get any smarter anytime soon with these knuckleheads. They're just that stupid. Really. That stupid. Unbelievable. Oh, well, I don't want to miss this. Someone would accuse me of ignoring the state of Israel or the nation of Israel or whatever the heck Israel is. And get this, the situation, the, shall we say, diplomatic relations between Israel and other Middle East countries is deteriorating. It's falling apart. And Joe Biden, what is he doing to help? Folks, not a damn thing. Joe Biden doesn't know what flavor of ice cream he's licking as he stares at someone else's wife or daughter. Guy is lost. So, with America out of the job, out of the realm, America is no longer a diplomatic nation under the Biden administration. The U.S. government, rather, is a piss-poor representative. So, yep, Taiwan, fuck you. Ukraine, we'll fight all day and give you money all day because, well, Ukraine means something to these people. But Israel, fuck it. They don't care about Israel or the Middle East. And get this, folks. Anyone attacks Israel, they'll attack them 2 times as hard. Anyone screws with Israel, they'll nuke them. Folks, they got nukes. Israel can turn any other city within their missile range into a glowing pile of sand and glass, or if you wish, a nice pillar of salt. And Biden is once again busy licking an ice cream cone and having someone else wipe his arse for him. They may as well start a war there with Israel. Abandon all your allies now, Joe. It'll make your job easier. If you don't have to worry about, well, you only have to worry about Ukraine because of all the money laundering that goes through there with FTX and Sam Bankman fraud. Just fucking unbelievable what is coming out of DC. And people want to say, once again, I read one comment, went to YouTube, oh, John, all you ever do is talk about the same stuff. Oh, really? So they've been saying for years that Taiwan is not an independent state? No, hardly, folks. Hardly. There is some shit going on a daily basis. Between the time I go to bed and wake up, there's new shit. By the time I get done with the morning broadcast and get to the afternoon with you, there's all kinds of crap going on. After I take off, after the Friday free-for-all, and I'm not back till Sunday night, all types of shit busts loose. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, let's get into education. And oh, by the way, dumbass Biden ended a speech with, God save the Queen. We're not British. We're not British subjects. And the fucking Queen died. She's dead. We now have King Dipshit. Yeah, so education, folks. Right? If you oppose the education of people, getting critical race theory commentary and thought, then you're a racist. Don't forget that. But over in England, folks, they have the same problems, except the people are waking up. Didn't we talk about just last week some students in Massachusetts? That's right, folks. Boston is in Massachusetts. Boston, they had the Tea Party. Boston, the people from the Green Dragon decided that they would go and dump some tea in the harbor, basically telling the king, you ain't collecting any taxes on that, you piece of shit. Anyways, Massachusetts, the students there said, you aren't going to bring us into your pride crap, and they tore up pride paraphernalia. I'm waiting for some fucking police, law enforcement institution to start arresting kids over hate crimes for daring to tear a piece of paper with a rainbow on it. Ooh, that's so hateful when you tear that paper. Ooh. Anyways, over in England, they're having their own revolt, folks. A girl mocked a student who identified as a cat, not as a man or a woman or non-binary, not even as a frickin' human. This person identified as a cat. So some girl made fun of him. That's right. Satire, humor, laughter, jokes. If the person being made fun of, folks, finds that harassment and bullying, well, they fucking earned it. They think they're a cat. I tell you what, when that person can lick their own asshole the way a cat can, I'll call them a cat, but only after they tattoo some whiskers on their face. Try it. If a cat can lick its ass, and you can too, I'll call you a cat. Nobody send me any pictures. So the teacher, though, folks, the teacher lost. The teacher lost her shit. Lost her shit. Because the girl was making fun of the idiot who thought they were a cat. And then the students went after the teacher for throwing a fit about the student. And they crushed her in a debate, a discussion about gender identity. This isn't even about gender identity. This is species identity. This is the level of retardation we're dealing with. So the teacher, folks, had an even bigger meltdown and threatened people. That's right. How dare you make fun of a complete, total moron who wants to make a public spectacle of himself by showing up in East Sussex school, right at the Rye College. That's right, the RYE College, Rye College, part of the Aquinas Trust. That's Thomas Aquinas, who, in part, let me give you a little Thomas Aquinas history background here. And I know I'm past my 30 minutes, but it's fucking Monday and this happens every time. Thomas Aquinas was a Catholic priest. I believe he was a Jesuit, started a college system to educate people so they could better understand Catholicism, because Martin Luther and the Protestants were out there debating and beating them. So Thomas Aquinas wanted smarter Catholics and started colleges. Anyways, the Rye College is part of the Aquinas Trust. But now, instead of teaching intelligent thought, they're teaching retarded thought. That if you want to claim to be a cat, a dog, a giraffe, a fucking tree, a fire hydrant, why not? Right? Why not be any of these things? Right? Right? So the teacher actually said this. And the teacher, by the way, goes without being named. This teacher should be named. But the teacher said, how you want to be and how you identify is up to you. How can you identify as a cat when you're a girl, was the response from the students. Upon hearing this, the teacher flipped out, tried her attempt at bullying and being mean. Yeah. How dare you? You've just really upset someone by questioning their identity. Well, the girl shot right back, folks, and said if they want to identify as a cow or something, then they are genuinely unwell. Crazy. That's not a stretch to say that if a human being thinks they're an animal, there's a fucking problem with their brain. They are genuinely unwell. Crazy. That's actually a nice thing to say. Isn't that just fucking great? Animal. I guess being an animal now is a protected identity, a gender identity. I don't know. Anyways, this teacher, folks, went on to ask the students. I guess this must be a girls' school. The teacher asked where they got their idea that there are only two genders. So one student says this: there's only a boy and a girl. There are no other private parts. That's just fucking brilliant. Clean, neat, tidy, succinct, to the fucking point. Brevity is the soul of wit, the answer to where did you get the idea there are only two genders? Well, there's only a boy and a girl. There are no other private parts. So the teacher went off with this, folks. I got to share you this because it's just, this is how fucking stupid they are. The teacher / professor at a college. The teacher says there is actually 3 biological sexes because you can be born with male and female body parts or hormones. There are lots of genders. There is transgender. There is a gender who are people who don't believe they have a gender at all. So another student says, you can't have that. What do you mean you can't have that, says the teacher, right? Another student said very bluntly now, if you have a vagina, you're a girl. And if you have a penis, you're a boy. This is simple math. Preschoolers know it. It was even featured in the movie Kindergarten Cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger. When one student, his father was a gynecologist, and he would tell the other students that the boys have penises and girls have vaginas, right? It's brilliant. If you have a vagina, you're a girl. And if you have a penis, you're a boy. It is that simple. And it can be substantiated, proven with biological science. Trust the science. Trust the science, huh? That's right. Boys have an XY chromosome. Girls, women, vagina owners have an XX chromosome. It's demonstrably proven by science, and now we're supposed to ignore that. So the teacher started making fruitcake, rainbow-loving bullshit arguments and said, cisgender is not necessarily the way to be. Now, I'm going to stop right there and say, oh, it's worked for the last 50,000 fucking years, but now we're going to abandon it because you, lemonhead, decide you want to change things. Anyways, cisgender, which means being a fucking normal human. Cisgender is not necessarily the way to be. Well, that's your opinion, bitch. Let me try this again. Cisgender is not necessarily the way to be. You are talking about the fact that cisgender is the norm, that you identify with the gender of the sexual organ you were born with, or you're weird. That's basically what you're saying, which is really despicable. The teacher continued. People can't change their gender, which invites even more mockery. The students, folks, said, oh, they just kept fucking with this teacher and been proving the teacher wrong with just common sense. This teacher went right to the same shit they're teaching in America. Folks, we're going to have these fucking stories coming from America. The teacher melted down and threatened to report all the girls and vowed to indoctrinate them. I'm reporting you to Miss Willie, whoever the fuck Miss Willis is. You need to have a proper educational conversation about equality, diversity, and inclusion, because I'm not having that expressed in my lesson. You need to have. We need to get your brains right. You need to get your shit right. Folks, I'm glad students are arguing against these fucking idiots. It's time to get rid of these morons, at least their way of thinking. If not, eject them out of the school system, period. I mean, can you believe that they're having these fucking conversations in schools, in colleges, no less? Unbelievable. It sure is. Oh, well, I want to thank Mr. Skylight for sending this to me. Mr. Skylight, who loves to send awesome quotes on the Sunday Night Live show. I think he is explaining why these leftards are believing the shit they're believing. An opinion has been set out in front of everyone that the spike protein from, the Jim Jones juice, that's right, folks, the juice, if you're juicinated, your body's now creating spike proteins, and it's making the masses cognitively retarded via neurological damage. Okay, so they get these mini blood clots, right? It's clotology 101, and they go up the jugulars and into the brain, and they get stuck in the little teeny parts of the brain, right? The little teeny capillaries where the blood goes through and it hands off oxygen and it hands off food and energy so the brain can live. And these little micro clots clog those areas of the brain and start killing it off slowly, piece by piece, section by section, chunk by chunk, until we're dealing with a bunch of clot-brained morons who think that a man can be pregnant and a girl can be a cat. I just couldn't leave that one alone, folks. And thank you again, Mr. Skylight. There's so much shit going on, folks. So much. And I'm glad that Disney's new woke bullshit movie featured a non-binary character. It took a shit. It bombed. It sucked at the box office. Good. Now let's do this. Let's go to the inner circle with you guys and see what you want to talk about. That's how I feel some days. What the hell? Oh, man. Jolene, you're in the background. I hope you've been enjoying the broadcast. I've got so much more to talk about. I could go on and on and on about different topics and how screwed up everything is, how shit is hit the fan, and why you need to be prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Is anyone denying that there's something that there isn't something wrong with these people? Fuck it. Fuck you, Taiwan. Oh, Afghanistan. Fuck you. Oh, by the way, China is now negotiating with the Taliban over bringing them into their monetary system. I wonder what country is going to benefit from the mineral resources of Afghanistan. I wonder if it could be China. Thanks, Biden, you fucking sellout. Okay, man, Jolene, who do we want to put up first? Hey, Orlando's made it. Awesome. Orlando says, about the fruitcakes. If they can take a fucking dick, they can take a joke. Just saying. That's right. Whether we're talking about au natural or a big rubber one, or both, you would think that they could take a joke. I tell you what, folks. Here's why they can't. In order to understand humor, there has to be a modicum of intelligence there. There has to be some humility, some understanding of your place in the universe. But these morons think they're gods and superior to everyone. And so anyone making fun of them is an insult of the worst kind. And so it freaks them out, right? They lose their shit. They get triggered and they go off. They become violent. Once again, folks, the lower the IQ, and this is scientifically proven, it is psychologically demonstrable that the dumber the human being, the more prone to violent reactions they have in any given situation. Any given situation. That does not mean that smart people can't be violent. It means that on average, it is demonstrably proven that stupid people are violent. And yeah, these people, folks, they're not superior. They know they're inferior. They know they're pretty damn stupid. They place value on things like what they put in their poop chute versus what they put in their head to act like an intelligent human being. Instead of going out and making their way in the world, they demand everyone else give them all the accolades they need, all the praise they want, all the admiration, worship, and oh my goodness, you're just such a great person, you fruitcake. They have an inferiority complex. They know that they are morally bankrupt. They're ashamed of who they truly are, so they demand that you tell them how good they are, how smart they are, how brave they are. They demand you do that, and that you recognize their pronouns and call them by them, even if they change them every 5 seconds, so that you're dancing around them and sucking up to them. And only in that condition can they feel normal. Well, not really normal, but maybe they feel like they're important. They know they're not really important, folks. You and I, we understand our importance in life. We have a family. We go to work. We complete a job. We fulfill a mission. We create a product. We produce food. We do good things. We help others. We take care of our families. And that gives us a sense of pride, accomplishment. It represents everything that we've done, who we are as a person. What do these people do? They go out, they dress up in rainbow clothes, they bend over and take it in this poop chute. And that's all they do. And they're proud of that. We need a whole month to celebrate their anal proclivities. With the fact that they're so brilliant, they've cut off their genitals. That they're so unsure, so insecure of themselves that they don't know who or even what they are anymore. I'm a cat. Oh, man. Just, am I wrong? Okay, man, let's continue. Jolene, who is next? Thank you, Orlando. We got Ww3 says, John, how much money would every U.S. citizen get if Biden gave every American the money Joe has sent to Ukraine? Let's do some math. I think we're up at $130 billion. Let's do the math. There's 130,000, 130 million, 130 billion. That's a lot of fucking zeros. Divide that by 350 million. 350,000, 350 million Americans. Every single American, old, young, even infants. It comes out to $371. So let's try dividing that by, well, let's try how many taxpayers out of all of the children and the retired and then the working class or working aged. Would you say that 4 in 10 Americans are earning a paycheck and paying taxes? I think so. So what does that mean? That all of us are paying $1,500 a year to pay for that. We aren't getting money, we're giving money away. You bet. Every single American, yeah. It doesn't sound like much, right? Hell, every American that's paying taxes can pay $1,500 just to support Ukraine. Folks, that is only to support the Ukraine money that Joe's giving away. $1,500 per tax-paying American, 4 in 10 Americans. That doesn't count corporations either. Yeah, I think corporations should be the ones paying, and if we don't choose to buy their products, we shouldn't have to pay taxes. I don't know. That's another discussion. Another discussion. Great topic, though. How much money's gone over there, and how much are we on the hook for? All right, let us move it on over. Where are we going next? We got Garbage Benny checking in. Says, Biden's wet dream sniff fest. Quote, you are loved. And Joe Biden embraced tranny children at the White House Pride Month celebration. I tell you what, it's Pride Month at the White House, says Joe Biden. You, all you left-wing, lunatic, horrifyingly awful, irresponsible, immoral, sick, twisted parents that have convinced your children they're not the gender that their genitals represent. Bring your kids to the White House and Joe Biden will personally tell them exactly how much they're loved. Because that's what a president should be doing, right? No. That's what every parent should be doing. No. That's what adults. No. No, no, and no. No one should be telling children this. Nobody. But guess what? Now that the president of the United States is pushing for children to become sexual toys of their abusive parents, teachers, friends, and family, it's just fine, I guess? No. Folks, this is a destruction of innocence. It's a destruction of innocence to tell a child you're not what you are. You need to be something else. You can pick what you want. We're going to live your lie with you, and then we're going to have your genitals destroyed in surgery or with chemicals or both. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I got this from another, shall we say, YouTuber. I want to put his comments and thoughts up here. John, I want to thank you for sharing information with you. Yes, I do try and read emails. Yes, I try and answer emails. I get so much every day, folks. Anyways, John sent me this, and he said, if these allegations are valid, I'm almost at a loss of words to share my thoughts. It is the FBI, for crying out loud. Okay, John, here it is. There's a news story, folks, that the FBI groomed a 16-year-old boy who had brain development issues. In other words, this child is a terrorist. I'm sorry, a retard. He's retarded. He has a development issue. His brain is retarded. It's slow. That's what retarded means, slow, not smart. Forrest Gump. They groomed this boy to become a terrorist. Intellectually handicapped, if you want to say. And they convinced him to send money, small amounts of money, to a terrorist group, and then they arrested him. There you have it, folks. That's your FBI hard at work, turning retards into terrorists, arresting them to make their numbers look good. Folks, these sick people out there are awful. Let me give you another example, and I know we got a couple more comments, questions, etc. Uman, Jolene, how many do we got left? I'm sending you the message there. Now, the Maryland governor, the governor of the state of Maryland. Thanks, guys. The governor, folks, not a mayor, not a teacher, not some parent, not some fucking lunatic. The governor has made the claim publicly that keeping sexually explicit books from children is castrating them. As if castrating kids is wrong. These left-wing fruitcakes are doing exactly that. They're chemically castrating children. They're convincing kids to ruin their genitals and their reproductive systems with drugs or by getting surgery. But now it's wrong to castrate children by keeping books from them, by keeping perverted, sexually explicit LGBTQ books from children. That's castrating them. That's how stupid they are. It's fucking ludicrous and perverted beyond imagination. Yet this same government, full of idiots, just like the Maryland governor, in the White House, the Pentagon, Congress, they're telling us we need to fight wars with Russia. Russia, where if you've got a penis between your legs, you're a man. And if you're a man, you're going to be in the military. And if you're a man in the military, if you're turned loose on the enemy, you're going to kill them. Our military, folks, what are they doing to it? They're trying to destroy it. Children in America, what are they doing? They're being taught to, well, hate themselves, hate their parents, hate their country. And the only reason you should go into the military is to have your sex change operation paid for by taxpayers. Unfucking believable. Seriously. All right, let us move on if we shall. Let's move on. Who do we have up next? Oh, man, Jolene, it is user 5B4F. So we got some new people stepping in. He says, 4th Battalion is gone now. We are like the Army. 4th Battalion's gone now. Are you talking Marine Corps, 4th Battalion? All right. Wow. Let us move on from that. I need to research that. I need to look into that. Charles Gentry says, the person that made that comment has the memory of a goldfish. Regarding the YouTube comment that you talked about the same thing. I don't know. I don't know if they were trying to be helpfully critical or trying to be a butthead. It didn't feel like a troll move. But like I said, occasionally I'll go in there and I'll read a comment or two and throw out a comment. Yeah, I'm here. And answer, right? I can't answer everything. Folks, years ago, 8 years ago, I think I used to answer every single comment that came through on YouTube. I would spend like an hour doing that, you know, just to answer 100 people. I mean, I barely have time to talk to people who are premium subscribe members that want to really talk about important things, not just troll the shit out of me. But you guys, you make it fun, you make it exciting, you make it interesting. That's for fucking sure. Anyways, thank you, Charles Gentry. Let's do it. We got 5 minutes left. Let's do another comment. Hey, it's Michael Brown. I don't know. I got to give me a second, Michael. You always make me laugh, and then you ask a really hard question. I'm in a fucking strange mood with all the stupid that's going on out there. Okay, here we go. Michael says, John, who is making up these names? The epithets come from the government, not the will of the people. That's the same with the racist epithets. I don't know who makes up these names. I don't know. Everything is racist now. Did I miss something, Michael? Racism, folks. I mean, it used to be when I was a kid. I remember it was first or second grade, and I can't remember clearly which it was. I was in class, and there was this poster, and it said the world's races, and it showed different races of people. It had like, I don't know, 30, 40 different people. They just look different to me. I'm just a little kid, you know, trying to figure out what is a race. I was like, are they racing each other to see who's fastest? And so it identified race. And then later I figured out racist means that you think your race is superior, or your race is better than something. I don't know. It's just kind of funny, though. The most unintelligent people amongst us claim that everything is racist, because to call someone racist is like calling someone a xenophobe or a homophobe. You're not supposed to be able to defend yourself when you're hit with such an accusation, right? Like, get this. The American Medical Association is claiming that body mass index, the BMI, was based on white body standards of the 1800s. So therefore, it's racist. I don't know about that. I mean, everything is racist. But truly, the racists are these people on the left. And they come up with all kinds of names. Cisgender. It's too much. It's just, it becomes mind-boggling, truly mind-boggling, to operate within the realm of intelligent thought and critical thinking, and even just plain old everyday run-of-the-mill common sense, right? AKA street smarts. Street smarts. You don't have to be a college-educated person to realize the truth of a matter, or to recognize fact, and even to read, folks. Even an uneducated, like a non-PhD person, can read scientific papers and understand them. Yeah, I think I was a sophomore in high school, and my science teacher, Mr. Lukens, decided to tell everyone how he was reading Albert Einstein's theory of relativity. And then he let all of us know that you guys can't understand that stuff. And I thought, what a fucking arrogant prick to say that he can read it and understand it and we can't. Boy, he's got a teaching degree. He can read out of a book and tell children what book page number to turn to, and he can write down 10 questions out of the book and make us answer them to see if we actually read and memorized the material. He must be fucking brilliant. Albert Einstein, I bet, is spinning in his grave at the wondrous brilliance of teachers. Yeah, folks. Anyways, I digress. Anyways, Michael, I don't know, did I answer your question or not? And anyways, I'm glad I got to shout out Happy Father's Day to someone for you there. Michael Brown says, John, you have to be willing to get it if you want it. I graduate on the 29th. Fucking A, brother. I'm glad you're graduating. You have to be willing it, right? You have to be willing. You have to be dedicated. You have to be disciplined. And that is awesome. That's awesome, man. Congratulations to you, Michael, for graduating in 10 days. It takes a lot, folks. I do not have a PhD. I have all kinds of degrees. I don't have a master's degree from California State University, because it takes a lot to graduate college, folks. You have to put up with all kinds of left-wing shit. You've got to swallow your pride in order to put up with their crap. You really have to be strong to make it through that shit. And I never made it in California, folks. I did not get any of my degrees from California. Wow. Anyways, man, congratulations. That is fucking awesome. Seriously. Keep charging ahead. Okay, we are at the one. Holy cow, we're at the 1 hour mark. Holy cow. I could do my best Harry Carey. Holy cow. Okay, very good, Joe. Jolene sent a message to me. All right, folks. Hey, we're going to wrap this up. I'll be back 0dark30 tomorrow. I want to thank you for participating in the show. I know I went long, but good golly, we had a lot of shit to talk about, and I still have a full roster of topics, but don't worry, we can talk about it tomorrow or some of the other new things that are going to pop up between now and then. Chance favors the prepared mind. Aren't you glad you're a prepper? Folks, get prepped. Study up on it. Get practiced. It's going to happen. Semper Fi, Godspeed.